Today we're going to be looking at writing related conditional statements. So there's different kinds of statements that we have here. We're going to look at each one of these. So negation. The negation of a statement is the opposite of the original statement. To write the negation of a statement P, you use this like squiggly symbol before the letter. So if I want to say not P in words, the symbol we would use is that little squiggly in front of the P. So this means not P. Conditional statements we are familiar with. These are our if-then statements. So if we're using P and Q, we have if P, then Q. In symbols, you would write it like this. P with an arrow and Q. This means that P implies Q. To review converse, remember we did that yesterday. That's when we switched the P and the Q. So to write a converse statement, we exchange the hypothesis and the conclusion. So instead of it being if P then Q, we would switch these two. So now it would read if Q then P. The symbols used for that would look very similar to the conditional statement, except for you're going to switch the letters. So it'll be Q with the arrow and P, and that would mean that Q implies P. So now we have biconditional statements. So this happens when a conditional statement and the converse are both true. We can write them as a single biconditional statement. And biconditional statements contain the phrase if and only if. And this is abbreviated using the P and if spelled with two F's. So if the conditional statement and the converse are both true, then we have a P and a Q, and then in the middle you have an arrow that goes back and forth, kind of symbolizing that no matter the order of these two, they are both going to be true. To write an inverse of a conditional statement, you want to negate both the hypothesis and the conclusion. So remember, anytime we're using negation, we use that little squiggly. And in words, it would be if not P, then not Q. And then in the symbols, we would just use the negation before the P and the negation before the Q. If we want to write the contrapositive, we first want to write the converse. So remember, the converse is when we switch the P and the Q. Then for contrapositive, you negate both the hypothesis and the conclusion. So in words, it would be if not Q, then not P. So the converse is switching the Q and the P, and then now we're negating it. So for the symbols, you would negate, then the Q with the arrow over, then the negation symbol again, and then the P. So in the course, as we practice writing these related conditional statements, you're going to be given just the symbol part, and you're going to need to know what the symbols mean. So let's practice writing some related conditional statements. Our first statement is a right angle measures 90 degrees. So we can take this statement, and there are many different statements that are related to this one statement. So let's use our symbols. Let's first write our if-then statement. So your hypothesis is a right angle. Conclusion is 90. So I'm just going to write that above. If it's a right angle is our P, and the conclusion is our Q. So if I want to write the negation of that statement, we are going to negate P. So something to remember when using negation, if the statement is true, the negation has to be false. So according to how the rule is written, this is what you'd think the negation would look like, but this sentence doesn't make any sense because the only angles that measure 90 are right angles. So the correct negation of the statement would be, if it is a right angle, then it does not measure 90 degrees. So it really looks like we are negating the Q, which is this conclusion here. So just remember that if the statement is true, the negation has to be false. I know the negation rule can seem a little bit confusing. So for shorthand, you can follow this rule. If P, then not Q. That's not the formal notation because this is the formal notation, but to remember it, just set up your sentence like this. If we have our conditional statement, that was P implies Q. So we would have, if it is a right angle, then it measures 90. So this conditional statement is true because if you're a right angle, you are 90 degrees. So that's definitely true. Converse means we're going to switch the Q and the P. So the Q is going to come first, and then the P is going to come next. So that would be, if it measures 90 degrees, then it is a right angle. So this is true also, because if something does measure 90 degrees, then it is a right angle. So this truth value is true. So remember, for biconditional statements, this is when the conditional statement and its converse are both true. You can write them using the if and only if statement. So remember, when you have the if and only if statement, you have the arrow that goes back and forth. So the biconditional statement would read, it's a right angle if and only if it measures 90 degrees. You can only write this statement if both the conditional statement and the converse are true. So you don't have to put anything in the truth value box. So anytime you're using a biconditional statement, you would use the if and only if. So the inverse is when you negate both the hypothesis and the conclusion. So we're going to negate P, and we're also going to negate Q. So this would read, if it's not a right angle, then it does not measure 90 degrees. So if something's not a right angle, then it's not 90 degrees. Your truth statement for that is true. Let's look at the contrapositive. So remember, the contrapositive is when you write the converse and then you negate it. So we already know the converse. The converse is the Q implies P. So now we're just going to put the little negation symbols in front of those. So we're going to negate Q, and we're also going to negate P. So all I really have to do is take this statement right here, which is my converse, and then negate it. So if it does not measure 90, then it is not a right angle. So if it doesn't measure 90, then it's not a right angle is also true. A good definition in geometry will be able to be written as a true biconditional statement. If the converse statement is not true, then you may not write the biconditional, and therefore the original statement is not a good or complete definition. So we want to keep this statement in mind as we are proving things in geometry when it comes to what's a good definition and what's not. So let's get some more practice with these related conditional statements. Your statement is a square has 4 sides. So if we break this up into a hypothesis and a conclusion, let's do the negation. So not P. Remember, when I set this up, I'm going to use if P, then not Q to get my statement in the correct order. So that would mean if it is a square, then it does not have 4 sides. Obviously, the truth value for this would be false. So remember, your conditional statement is P, then Q. Your conditional statement is your if, then statement. What would it be for a square has 4 sides? So if it is a square, then it has 4 sides. That would be true. If we want to do the converse of that, we take the P and the Q and we switch them. So instead of if it's a square, we're going to start with if it has 4 sides. So by switching the conclusion and the hypothesis, we get if it has 4 sides, then it is a square. And this one is not true. This is false because just because it has 4 sides, it doesn't necessarily mean it's a square like we did the other day. There's rhombuses and rectangles. So if the conditional is true and the converse is false, we cannot write a biconditional statement. Remember, biconditional statements, we can only write those if both of these truth values for the conditional and the converse are true. So this one would just be not applicable. Let's look at the inverse. The inverse is going to negate P and Q. So we basically take our conditional statement right here, and then we're going to negate both of them. So negate P, negate Q. What would your statement be for that? Okay, so we have if it is not a square, then it does not have 4 sides. So here's the negation. And is this true or false? So this might be kind of hard to wrap your head around. So here's one thing that you can remember is the converse and inverse of a conditional statement are either both true or both false. So if I look at the converse, if my converse is false, then my inverse is also going to be false. Okay, for the contrapositive, we take the converse and then negate both of them. So we're going to negate Q and we're going to negate P. So you can use the converse statement that you already wrote and then just add the negation. So if it does not have 4 sides, then it's not a square. So similar to the inverse, this one might be really hard to determine if it's true or false. So there's a similar rule that applies to conditional statements and contrapositive. So if you have a conditional statement and a contrapositive, they're either both true or both false. So because the conditional statement is true, then the contrapositive will also be true. So now you're just going to do some practice on your own. Your statement is supplementary angles add to 180. So your hypothesis, supplementary angles, and your conclusion is add to 180. Be sure that when you're writing your statements that you include the symbols for each related conditional statement. Which statement would be the negation? Remember that your conditional statement is the if then where P implies Q. Which statement is your conditional statement? The converse is when you switch your Q and your P. Which statement represents the converse? So if two angles add to 180 degrees, then they are supplementary. When can we write a biconditional statement? You can only write a biconditional statement when your conditional and converse statements are both true. How would you write the biconditional statement? Two angles are supplementary if and only if their angles add to 180. You don't have to write a truth value here because we already know that the conditional and the converse were both true. So the inverse is when you negate the P and the Q. So very similar to this, but there's some negation. How would you write the inverse? So if two angles are not supplementary, then their measures do not add to 180. So if you are trying to figure out the truth value, remember that a converse and the inverse are either going to be both true or both false. So if the converse is true, then the inverse will also be true. Now let's write the contrapositive. So remember, the contrapositive is the negation of the converse. So for the contrapositive, if measures of two angles do not add to 180 degrees, then they are not supplementary. So how would you determine the truth value for the contrapositive? So remember, if the conditional statement is true, then the contrapositive will also be true. So a conditional statement and its contrapositive are either both true or both false. For your summary, you need to answer the essential question, which was, how are biconditional statements different from conditional statements?